Okay, hello.
Player.
Hey, hello YouTube players. Whilst I was designing this pocket bow, getting the bearings aligned were critical for keeping the unit as compact as possible. The way I achieved it was by nesting, say, a part within a part and a part within a part, and then a body within a part. The reason why is because I needed to have complete control of the axes so I could see in real time the effect it would have on the elastic and the path throughout the unit. As you can see, it's pretty tight. I mean, this is iteration number 10. I'm pretty sure there's going to be iteration number 11. But when I do iteration number 11, it is not going to be this way, because there's a good chance of error or circular referencing or God knows what going wrong. If you're referring to a part that's nested in there and you select this part, if you refer to this body, you're meaning to, and you refer to this body, down the track it creates problems. And this is down the track. So down the track I've got a construction piece, and if you haven't selected the right surface to do surfacing, it doesn't like it. So long story short is that I've created a macro that will place a reference to a cell back into the placement and control this what they call quaternions, or axis angle representation, which is not really user friendly or new user friendly. I'm sure there's developers out there that love it, but conventional coordinates controlled by degrees would just work a lot better if you had a list of parts and expression similar to fusion. I mean, every week I hear people or see people on the social media, why isn't it more like fusion? I mean, guys, this is a development software. It takes everyone to contribute to make it to what you want. It's free. You can make it what you want because it's free. Not free cost-wise, but free as in code-wise as well. And look, here is a list of my macros that help me with my workflow adapting to FreeCAD, coming from Autodesk primarily, but I've had experience with other softwares as well. So let's run through them and hopefully you get something from it. I'm going to close all this down and start a new document. Okay, so this is the devil in the detail. This is the macro. Let's call it test 1. Create a new spreadsheet and we'll create a part. Alright, so I'm going to put the toggle axis cross on, and the toggle axis cross exists in 0, 0, 0 in global coordinate space. By default, a part or a body or anything is created in 0, 0, 0 global coordinate space, but it has a local coordinate system, and this is the parts you can see. If we open up the spreadsheet, gets viewable. Let's drag that open a bit more. Okay, so now we can see everything. The first thing I need to point out is that you can't edit the name via the tree anymore. It's controlled by row A1. So first test, we'll change the name. Boom, that's changed. Alright, let's move it in the X direction. It's moving on the X direction. Let's move it in the Y direction. Moving in the Y direction, let's move it in the Z direction. Going up. Let's rotate it in the X direction. It's going to rotate across this guy. Yep, let's rotate it in the Y direction. It's going to rotate against him. Beautiful. And rotate it against the Z. Beautiful. Okay, so we want a body to go in that part. Let's create a body this time. Let's call it test 03. We do have the option to create a new spreadsheet, but we want to use that. Create a body. Boom. It's been created also in the global coordinate system. Okay, so we can move them around. 2, 2, 2. I'm not going to rotate him this time, just so you can see what happens when I drag the body into the part. Let's make these bigger. 5, 5, 5. Right, so it's now referencing the part's local coordinate system. And as you just saw, the body itself has a local coordinate system which you might want to put sketches in. But for now, let's leave it there. And I'll show you, if you wanted to imitate global coordinate space with an existing part, it would be a matter of returning everything to 0. Okay. Right. Hope that makes sense. Now, the other scenario is that you might have a item in FreeCAD's ecosystem that isn't in that drop down that I just showed you. I mean, I would love to make a list of them all, and perhaps even this might become part of FreeCAD. I don't know, but that will depend on feedback the developers got from you guys. Obviously, I'm for this. The next thing we'll do is create a part, a box. We'll turn off these guys, those local coordinate systems. So we've got a box inside the global coordinate system. Primitives don't have their own local coordinate system. You have to use attachment to get things next to them, on them, or around them, which is another potential macro to be worked on. But for now, I'm just hard coding into the placement, not the attachment. So if we wanted to add this guy to our spreadsheet, we need to run this other macro. It should open up a flyout. So it's a link to placement on the spreadsheet. Okay. So again, it's moving. Right. If we then dropped that cube into the test part, you can see nothing happened. That's because it's all back to 0, 0, 0. But if we then moved excuse me, test around, literally all three move. Now you can kind of see what I mean by, if you have a bearing, a shaft, an insert, constructions, and you need to move them around while on screen, if you had to do that even just for 3 axes inside parts, what a nightmare. Anyway, this fixes it. I hope you get something from it. So I'll just quickly run through the other macros that I've created. Well, thought of is probably the correct word. OpenAI and GPT have actually created these. I've just put the prompts in. So it's not really correct for me to say that I created them, even though I did put a lot of testing into it. Yeah, let's leave it at that and show you some workflow macros that help me design faster. First, I'll show you this guy, the program dimensions. And the benefit of this is that if you wanted to broadcast something or communicate via video, it'll set your screen to HD or full HD or ultra HD at the click of a button. However, I found with OBS, I need to use custom to get the best resolution out. So I'm using 1500 by 830 to get this broadcast out. Not sure why, maybe it's a monitor thing. Anyway, at least I know, or at least I have control over it instead of trying to drag it around the screen, which is a nightmare. These guys that you've already seen before, I'll just open up a macro so I've got another screen open. Okay, so columns, UI columns, we switch it around. The main column is going to be down here. Control the column width, control the interface height. Okay, rows is similar. Switch it around, control the rows, control the height. So with tile on cascade, you still got work to do moving it around. Less clicks means less time, means less work. Look, I prefer it this way. Feedback to the developers will obviously be helpful for their developments in the future. Okay, next we have the isolate macro. Look, there's work to be done on this. I'm not going to demonstrate it right now. It needs to be changed over to Qt6, which is the new 1.1, the GUI engine. Forgive me if I have stated that incorrectly. It's it's now been brought out on Windows, and I haven't updated that macro. The program window I've already done. The tree, actually I will just put this back the way I like it. Okay, so this is a tree macro. What it does is it just opens up GUI, allows you to put a name in it. Okay, why is that flying? Okay. And inside that folder is created a spreadsheet, a part, and inside that part, all named, all ready to go. They're not linked to the spreadsheet at this point. Whether I do create 2 versions of this, one being linked and one not being linked, only time will tell. The benefit of not having one linked would be good, because if I demonstrate via creating a path over at the draft workbench, and we created a roller coaster, okay, these should be automatically selected. I'm not sure what I did then. Over to the curves workbench and use a join curve. Okay. Oh, it's in the active body. Oh, that's cool. So now when you create something, everything is going into the active body, active part rather. I did campaign for that, which is cool. I do like that. But we don't want it inside that. We want it outside. Okay. So turn that wire off. We turn this guy. Probably should have started a new document. It's so messy now. And the cube. Where's the cube gone? Right, test 5. That's the one we want. Okay, so we have test 5 and the roller coaster and the follow path. I'll close that spreadsheet down, make that large, fit all right. Okay, so if this is parametrically linked to the spreadsheet, it won't work because the placement code is hard coded. It can't be overridden via a macro typically. The spreadsheet parametric macro that I've created does, but it doesn't allow you to use it in another expression, if that makes sense. So you want to have a fresh part or body when you use the roller coaster macro, the follow path macro. So the features of this macro, you use the slider to drag it across. Set it at 50%. That's where you want to put the bucket, right at the top, underneath here for, you know what, we can toggle direction. Also, we can put it back to 50%. Let's go 55. Okay, coming from the other way. So we can work out the percentage coming from either direction. We can also rotate. Let's turn it right upside down. Okay, so you want your spew buckets to be effective. You want to have a direct link from the esophagus to the bucket. Cool. All right, so that's how you pitch a roller coaster, people. Next, done that one. The random number. So let's open up the spreadsheet first. Okay. We'll run the macro again. So lower limit, upper limit 100. Select your spreadsheet. Doesn't create a new spreadsheet. Your cell reference, we call it A6. And it'll create an alias if you wanted to. Call it random 01. Have a typo there. Boom. 81. Okay, we need to close this first. 81. Alias is there. That can be used throughout your expressions. The next one is parametric text. And so we're going to that spreadsheet, cell reference A7, and okay, so we've got edit cell there, and change this to say, there we go, parametric text. And we've done these two already. we've done follow path, and the last one is just basically an aid to quickly get 3 spreadsheets on the screen. And I hope to have these password locked in the future. So the idea is that a salesman can jump in and edit the details of a client, and the calculation's locked and the out's locked. So all they've got access to is the in, and basically they output your product with different specifications or different identification, and off to the printer. They don't have to disturb an engineer or a draftsperson to do something mundane. Alright peeps, that's what I have for you today. They are evolving and there's still work to be done. I've put a little bit of work into it. I hope you appreciate it. Give thanks if you can, and also give thanks to the developers. Cheers. See you next time.